Okay, so we're gonna make some sourdough bread. First, what I do is I add 1.25 cups of water into the bowl, and here's my starter. And as you can see, it's really active, really bubbly. It more than doubled in size since I fed it a couple hours ago. So that's how you know it is ready. And I use 1/2 cup. A lot of people use a scale for this. I don't have a scale, so we kind of just eyeball it, and usually works out every time. But it's not exact measurements. We do the best we can.
Homemade sourdough is just so superior.
It's good for your gut because, I mean, just from the way you can smell it even, it smells very sour. So this is like nothing but fermented flour and water. So it has good bacteria in it, which is really good for you. And for people who are sensitive to gluten, some people get migraines from gluten.
It's me.
Sourdough bread usually doesn't cause the same issues as normal bread.
I do way better with sourdough, especially when it's homemade by a beautiful woman. That's my wife.
So after you mix the starter and the water, it should look like milk. And again, there's special whisks you're supposed to use for this, but I just use this rubber spatula. So you whisk it up.
Whisk it up.
Whisk it up. You whisk it up, and then you are ready to add the flour. So this recipe calls for 3.5 cups of flour. So I just add a little bit in at a time, and I use this flour, Bob's Red Mill flour. The only ingredient in it is hard red wheat, and so that's a really important thing when you're looking for flours. Even organic flours can be enriched wheat flour, which has a bunch of additives in it that are unnecessary that you don't want. So it's important to look for simple ingredients in flour, and this one always makes really good bread. And they have a bread flour specific flour that I've also used. Honestly, I don't really notice that much of a difference between the two, so I just use this one for everything. Then we're gonna add some salt, and we like to use Baja Gold salt because it is full of minerals. So it's not just normal table salt. We actually add a little pinch of this salt to our water every day because it's just sort of like a natural electrolyte, and it has a bunch of minerals in it that are not found in normal water and normal salt. So we get that salt, and then you mix everything up. That's fun. Okay. Well, after you mix it all up, it should look sort of like a shaggy dough. Okay, so then I cover it with a towel and I let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then we will perform our first stretch and folds. So we'll show you how we do that too, but you do 3 stretch and folds every 30 minutes.
Big deal.
3 sets of stretch and folds every 30 minutes. So you gotta let it sit, let the flour get all hydrated, and then we'll stretch and fold. All right, so it's been about 30 to 40 minutes. So we're gonna do our first stretch and fold. It's important that you get your hand wet. I didn't know at first, but all you do is you just grab, you see? You gotta see this up close. You just grab one side of the dough, you pull it up so it kind of stretches, but not to the point of breaking, and you fold it over. And you turn your bowl and you do it to this side now. Stretch gently, fold it over. And you come to this side, and then it gets kind of hard. We'll do that again in another 30 minutes, and then we'll do it again 30 minutes after that. And then after that, you let it rise, and I just let it rise overnight, and it like doubles in size, is all bubbly and pretty. And then in the morning, we will shape it, and we'll add cinnamon to it because we're making a cinnamon sourdough loaf.
My favorite.
And we'll check back in the morning. I'm ready. So now it's morning. Our sourdough rose overnight. It pretty much doubled in size, and you can see all the little bubbles down there. That's how we know it's ready to be shaped. Take it out of this bowl. And I let it rise overnight in the oven because I found that that has a pretty stable temperature, and sourdough doesn't want to get too cold or too warm. So the oven keeps it, the oven's off. It's not on, but keeps it nice and room temp. All right, so here's our dough. And we are going to just stretch it out gently. Don't want to rip it. It's really soft and easy to stretch out, and you can see little bubbles. So cute. Okay, we're making this loaf a cinnamon loaf, so it's going to be a little different shaping process, but we're going to use this cinnamon. I'm just going to sprinkle it all in here. We're actually going to make this loaf into the shape of a pumpkin, so we'll show you how we do that later. It's a little festive loaf because Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Okay, and then I also have this spice mixture. It has some nutmeg, some clove, add some more flavor. Okay. Then we're going to fold down the top. And we're going to fold the bottom up to overlap with the top. And we'll do another little layer. Cinnamon. Some more spice. And then we are going to roll it and kind of pinch the inside, the outside, so that it doesn't spill out. So the cinnamon stays where it's supposed to be. And this is where the shaping process gets a little different, because normally when you make sourdough bread, I don't know what it's called, but you like move this around and pull it in towards you to create surface tension so that it rises while you bake it. But we don't really want to do that because it's going to mess up our cinnamon swirl design. So we're just going to be really gentle and just tuck the outsides underneath. And then I'm going to put some flour in this little bantam basket, whatever this is. Looks like this. And we're going to plop it in here, upside down. And we'll let it sit in the fridge for about 24 hours. We'll bake it tomorrow morning. So now we are going to bake it, but we're going to make it into a pumpkin shape because today's Thanksgiving and it's festive. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to use this kitchen twine. It's made specifically for cooking and baking. And we're going to use it to shape our loaf into a pumpkin. But in my experience, sometimes it can leave little hairs in your bread or whatever you're cooking with. So I'm going to oil it with some avocado oil, and that helps prevent hairs from stuck in your bread. And then we're just going to tie them kind of loose, not super tight, but not too loose. All up in the middle. I'm gonna leave a little bit of room for the bread to expand. Okay, trim that. Now we're gonna add a little design to it. So to really make the design pop, we're gonna sift some flour onto it. We are going to add a little design on all the sides. All right. Now we are going to bake it for about 30 minutes at 450 degrees. And then at 30 minutes, we will take the lid off of the Dutch oven and bake it usually for only about like maybe 10 more minutes with this oven. And this Dutch oven has already been in the oven for about 40 minutes preheating with the oven. So it's nice and warm, just helps the bread rise a little bit more when the Dutch oven's a little bit hot already. Actually, it's very hot. Oh, we'll take it out in 45 minutes.
And I remember all those summers playing till my fingers bled. You'd sing songs that I sing with you. We get drunk and go